Hello, hello, hello! I am Kasasagi Usagi, and I am here with more Final Fantasy 14. Um, we are going to try and get through our side quests as quickly as possible. We have Alchemist, we have Red Mage, and then we do have another Dark Knight quest. So we are going to start very quickly with Mr. Severin, my good friend. Hello. Guildmaster Severin wishes to assign you a minor task. Eagerly have I awaited your return, my able assistant. Does your chest not ache with the intake of every excited breath? Do you not tremble in joyous anticipation as your hand reaches forth, seeking to nudge open the door into the realm of alchemy's most sought-after secrets? You do. We'll try to ignore that feeling for now. Before we can fully commit ourselves to our research, there remain a few irksome details that must first be addressed. As ever, I speak of those unending orders from the guild. Brew this potion, concoct that elixir. Ugh, surely you grow as weary as I of these constant demands on our precious time. We must be allowed to concentrate. I've an idea to end these nibbling distractions, and it involves you. March over to Deritrek's desk and petition for complete cessation of these interruptions. I'd handle it myself, but I fear the man to become unheedful of my words. Simply tell him we are not working anymore. You're not gonna like this. Huh? Master Severin demands to be spared from any further official guild duties? I am a simple receptionist. How can I possibly deflect the expectations of our senior members? His obsessive research is wearing thin the patience of both colleagues and clients alike. I fear if we do not restore at least a modicum of goodwill, his attempts to redirect tasks will be met with the staunchest of opposition. I doubt our guildmaster realizes the precarious state he finds himself in. It is only substantial skill in alchemy that convinces others to tolerate his growing eccentricity. That said, many would gladly trade that skill if it returned him to his former, somewhat less manic self. Nay, 'twas not always like this, but ever since the calamity robbed him of his one true love, I have witnessed him transform into a feverish madman, desperately racing through experiment after experiment. I delve into areas best left unexplored. We should return to the topic at hand. Of the various orders the guild needs met, the one of highest priority is a request of vile high ether, commissioned by one of our more valued patrons. I would suggest you lend your focus to this particular assignment and create an uncommonly potent sample for delivery. Perhaps then it would be enough to satisfy both patron and allow forbearance to free the guildmaster to other tasks. I hesitate to encourage this kind of behavior, of course, but then I realize Master Severin's work means to him, and I would be grateful if you could keep an eye on for him. I fear for his well-being, and you are the closest thing he has to a friend. Ooh, look at all the thoughts. Okay. Well, did you browbeat that diatetic fellow into submission? A conditional surrender. I suppose a single vial of high ether is a small price to pay, but let it not be said that my assistant fails to deliver. You will need to employ advanced and somewhat involved alchemical techniques to produce the elevated quality of high ether required. Best you begin at once. I'm shocked I don't just have high ethers, but I suspect perhaps I've sold them all. What the hecky? There we go. Oh, a mandrake. Those should be dirt cheap on the market board. Oh, perhaps not. Oh well, we're gonna find out in a second. Oh, hell yeah. Dirt cheap. Wait, I'll buy 7. There we go. Just in case. Okay, I'm gonna make it high quality. 54 plus 54 is 108. Okay, perfect. $23, huh? Boo. Excellent. That's 98%, baby. Oh, I'm still worried though. Excellent. I done did it. How does your work progress? Have you succeeded in concocting that remarkably efficacious high aether? Yes, rejoice, my impressively adept assistant, for you have forged the key to our freedom. Who could not be moved by such a masterful example of mana-restoring splendor? My happier post-assistant career lies in the manufacture of this wonderful substance. You would, I suspect, need to purchase coffers that they might overflow with coin. Even among alchemy's more incredible inventions, the manufacture of ether stands out as a singularly profitable venture. I don't believe that's true. It is an innovation that changed the face of battle. Mages were no longer limited by their natural reserves of etheric energy. A few swallows of alchemical brilliance and a sorcerer could fuel another barrage of spells. It cannot, of course, sustain their powers indefinitely, as we have already discussed. Any potion taken in excess becomes the equivalent of poison. Oh dear, was I lecturing again? It is difficult to contain my passion for alchemy with the goal of my labors looming so close on the horizon. You have accomplished a minor miracle today, my dear assistant. With all the obstructions to our research thus utterly removed, let us move on to the final stage of experiments. I believe I'm wearing that. 28 gloves. 25. Alright. Guildmaster Severin appears beside himself with excitement. Yeah? Where have you been, my tardy assistant? Man, I never left your side. I feared I would have to begin applauding myself. Did you bring the wine to toast this momentous occasion? No, well, no matter. Let us not waste time with such extraneous celebrations. The ecstatic rush of triumph within my breast has me sufficiently intoxicated, for I have, at long last, unlocked the secrets of the ultimate expression of alchemy. After countless hours of research and experiments too numerous to mention, I finally hold in my hand the exact recipe required to effect my heart's desire. Come, my astute apprentice, together we shall swing wide the gates of chemical history. You will aid me by concocting a share of the necessary ingredients. Your task entails the creation of 3 high potions of strength, and as you have most likely deduced, they should be brews of extraordinary potency. While you are mixing those vials of vigor, I will be occupied with my own preparations. There is much work to be done for the both of us. I don't believe I have those on. Please, I just want to get up. High potions of strength. Is it mega potions? No, high potions. Dex, mind, intelligence. There it is. Oh, I definitely don't have those. Okay, but they shouldn't be too expensive. Oh, they are a little expensive. I have only one leg, so we gotta make it count. Plus 60 will be 120, right? 6 plus 6 is 12. 120, yeah. That would finish it, I think. Okay. I'm worried that I don't know how to do math, and that I'll screw it up. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, I do know how to do math, but I didn't do it right anyway. Let's see. I need blue yards of legs. Can I get a high quality one? Thank you. We got it this time. Nice. We done did. I did it. Well, you have those high potions of strength for me. Remember, only the most splendid samples are suitable for the process this demanding and delicate. He wants all 3 of them. I shall have to improve the quality of the materials I prepared if they are to be successfully combined with yours. Merely holding on to the vials, I can feel trembles of might seeping into my weary frame. You've done well to preserve the power inherent in these limbs of a bog, Yarson. Why, these concoctions would imbue even the scrawniest of men with the strength to rival Ralgar himself. If all of the ingredients match this level of quality, our success in this endeavor is assured. I did perhaps fail to mention exactly what this most ambitious of alchemical processes was intended to achieve. Well, rather than inconvenience us both with an extremely lengthy and technical explanation, it may be faster for me to simply exhibit the results. This is, after all, the culmination of years of dedication and sacrifice. It may very well be that my efforts will end in misery, but one must at least make the attempt or suffer endless guilt of inaction. The time for talk is at an end. I shall now begin the process. From this moment onwards, I must needs have unbroken concentration and solitude. Your devoted assistance has been most appreciated. Aside from myself, you shall be the first to discover what the ultimate alchemical technique has achieved. Yeah? Okay. And now, I'm gonna run this way, because I think the man I need to talk to... I actually don't know off the top of my head. Somewhere in this city, I do believe. There it is. A distraught lass seeks a savior for her sister. Oh, are you an adventurer? Please, you have to rescue my sister. Some horrible people tried to kidnap us just outside the city gates. I managed to break free when a traveler stopped to help, but my sister never caught up to me. Where are your parents? Mom and Papa left early to deal with some merchants, and the brass blades don't seem to care what happened outside the city walls. That traveler, he was some sort of mage, I think. But it was 1 against 5. Surely he can't stand against so many. What can I do? Won't you please help me? Oh. That's the Stormblood quest music. I'm assuming I need to go out here. Oh, I do. I have not heard Stormblood music in an absolute lifetime. Oh, look at this man. This man is absurdly attractive for a cat boy. Don't touch me! Oh, you're not one of them. Daddy Red Mage. Oh, that was the victory pose for Red Mage, but the boys apparently adjust their lapels. The girls don't do that. And who might you be? It's okay, we get way better outfits when you're a girl. You came to lend your aid. My apologies. Had I but known, I would have spared you a villain or two. After all, you seem to share my distaste for those who would prey upon defenseless children. Aye, birds of a feather are we. I am... Oh, shit. Zaruantia, a pilgrim of sorts. Might I know your name, friend? A Cully. Now why does that strike such a familiar chord? Excuse me, I just wanted to say thank you for saving me. My pleasure, child. You are unharmed, yes? Good. Let us escort this brave lass to her sister, then. Lead the way. It's true. What is just a miserable little pile of secrets? Is the line that came to me, but I don't know if that's accurate. I think I'm getting my references all mixed up. You found her, adventurer. Thank you. We are very grateful for your kindness. I didn't do fuck all, but you're welcome. I was so scared. What did those terrible people want with us? You needn't worry about them anymore, sister. The man in red defeated them all. You saw how he fought with spells and steel? He's one of those heroes Papa told us about. A crimson duelist, aren't you? I did not expect to hear this name, that name so far south into Eorzea. Then you are a crimson duelist. I knew it. If your papa is telling his daughter's tales of red mages, then he must be from Alamigo, yes? Well, that would explain his choice of bedtime stories. Now, shall we see you lasses home? It'll be alright from here. Thank you again. And away they skip, safe and happy. Now, a collie, was it not? I believe we've earned ourselves a celebratory drink. I don't know how to explain to you once again that I did not do anything. You need not feel compelled, my friend. Should the mood strike you, however, you'll find me staying over at the Black Brush Station. I find the ale served at the coffin most agreeable. Alright, I'm gonna follow you. But once again, I did not participate and I did not help. But everyone seems very convinced that I did something. I was just vibing, my dude. You came! As it so happens, the mother of those girls tracked me down and insisted I accept a reward. Once I mentioned you might be stopping by, she left a token of gratitude for you as well. Again, didn't do anything. It seems we've assisted an affluent merchant family, a revelation which might explain the attempted kidnapping, hefty ransom and all that. I'm told the girls were immediately assigned a capable bodyguard, however, so we can drink in peace knowing they are well protected. Oh, I remembered once I know your name. It was Alice who first mentioned you to me. After the 10th or so times, some incident had her loudly wishing to have a collie's courage or a collie's strength. I became rather curious to meet you myself. How do I know the indomitable Alice? Our paths crossed quite by chance. A fellow traveler met upon the road. She expressed an interest in red magery and pursued me to instruct her in the basics of the art. She proved quick study to the arcane side of things, but fencing was something of a challenge. By the end of our lessons, however, she had learned to combine spellcraft with swordsplay, when to cast from afar, when to lunge forward, and with a well-timed thrust. And what of you, my friend? Have you an interest in the art? I suspect you would make an exceptional red mage. I am deadly serious. A woman who would rush to the aid of a stranger's child without fear or hesitation is a woman I would trust with the power of red magic, but even beyond that, I sense in you a kindred spirit. Be warned, however, that my style of teaching is a practical one. I will expect you to join me on my journey and assist me in aiding others. Accept those terms and I will bestow upon you the accoutrements of a red mage. Are you familiar with soul crystals? This particular stone is attuned to past wielders of red magics, and you will fill your mind with a firm foundation of technique. You need only reach forth with your hand. Sir, we have just met. You know this, right? Are you prepared to walk the path of a red mage? One word and the soul crystal is yours. He's like, come with me. You will not regret this decision, my friend. Gods above, for a moment there I thought you meant to refuse me. A host of red mages committed their memories to this gem, and now it is yours. I got way too close to this man. Absorb the knowledge it contains, and then we will discuss the finer points of red magic. Ah, but first, I should give you that reward. How deep this rabbit hole goes. Oh, I'm naked. Oh, this is a hot disaster. Hold on. Got my redstone in. Move set up. Move set up. Okay. Move set down. Tank should be first. Okay. Well, I didn't actually open my coffer of clothes, so let's do that very quickly. I have the raid pants, so this is just gonna be my look. Which is not ideal, but we do the best we can. Sir, do I look ridiculous to you? Can I dye these pants red? I cannot. You can't dye the raid pants red? Final Fantasy. Sir, I look very silly. Wait, why does my hat have ear holes and yours doesn't? Where are your cat ears, Catboy? Zarin wishes to teach you the origins of red magic. I see from the glint in your eye that the soul crystal has surrendered its secrets. Welcome to the ranks of the red mages. The art we practice is born of noble origin. Its balanced and controlled energies were once used to stem the tide of destruction and reclaim the future for the disposed. I speak of the age some 1500 years past, when the clash of two sorcerous civilizations brought about the sixth umbral calamity. Ere the great floods rose, people fled from their homes into the mountains of Garabania. Even mages of Mach and Ampador were to be found amongst the refugees. These wizardly practitioners became targets of retribution for their part they played in upsetting the natural balance, and soon as they shed their robes of black vestments and white. If they were to survive and rebuild following the disaster, however, they would need the power of the arcane. Thus were the principles of black and white magery reinvented, and upon their combined foundation an entirely new discipline was built, red magic. But I have prattled on about the history of it for long enough. Far better that you experience red magic firsthand. There remains the mystery of who sent kidnappers after those poor girls, and I have a feeling attempts to unearth the culprit will provide the battle practice you require. Before we plunge into the fray, however, there are questions I would ask. Come with me to Thenoland, to the Church of St. Adama Lamada. It's true. There was so there's been every time. I believe we're in the 7th Umbral era because the calamity with Bahamut created that, I believe. But in the 6th area, there were all these. Yes, there were all these. There wasn't like Ul'dah and Gridania, but there was Mach, there was Ampador, and Ampador did white magic, and Mach did black magic, and Mach, with their sorceries and talking to the void, soon learned that there would be a great flood that swept across the land. So they built themselves a giant boat, an ark, if you would. And I believe in their attempts to try and stop the flood, they are actually the ones that caused the flood. This is not where I wanted to go. If I'm remembering my Eorzean history correctly. Yeah, in all their attempts to stop it, they were actually the sole cause of it. Whoopsie doopsie. Hello. Akali, there you are. I would introduce you to Father Elude, but I believe the two of you are already acquainted. Zurun has told me a tale of nefarious spellcasters and their attempt to kidnap two young girls. And you wish to ask if the thaumaturgical cabal is known to me, yes? There are several such cults which come to mind, but I must have more detail. You say each member shared the same unusual traits? Aye, not one word spoken over the entire exchange, no one shift in expression when I urged them to yield. Each of them appeared branded with some manner of tattoo, a sigil pulsing with arcane energy. Ah, an evil practice. Such cursed sigils are known to destroy the will of the bearer, resulting in a biddable puppet, which acts in such a manner you have described. There is no salvation for such wretched creatures. Then we must seek the veins who pull their strings. Pray learn what you can of this cabal and its purpose, Father. Akali, we have another task to attend to. Might I suggest some light stretching before you step outside? You'll soon understand why. You want me to stretch? I can stretch. Holy beans. Why do you do this, Final Fantasy? Okay, get rid of this, and this, and this. That's my swift cast. These are my sword things. That's Jolt. For arrow, for thunder. A sword. Displacement. 35, 50. Okay, so then it's this sword skill. This sword skill. Stop it. This is important. Important. AoE. AoE. Lucid dreaming. Woo. Scatter. I should put scatter here. And swift cast. Do I not? Where's my? Oh, I don't get res for quite a while. Okay. And then I need limit break. The most important red mage ability. Limit break. Okay. Did you notice we're being followed, Akali? The very cabal we are investigating seems to have taken an interest in us. I sense an ambush in the offing. Do they seek to silence us, perhaps? Well, let them try. This will be the perfect opportunity for you to test your newly acquired skills. But first, a brief lesson. A red mage's spells belongs to two distinct schools, rooted as they are in the ancient disciplines of black and white magic. Intertwined, they form the solid core of red magic, and through the balanced casting of both disciplines, can a red mage build his foundation higher and higher. When your strength has reached its peak, that is when you will lunge forward and unleash the energies thrumming within your blade. And then you leap away, returning to the first step. It is a dance, my friend. Come out, wherever you are. We have no intention of running or hiding from you. I wear a sword, as you can see, but I am not partial to violence. Is there no chance we might accept a parley in lieu of bloodletting? How unsettling. Well, Akali, it seems you will have your battle. Remember what I have taught you. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. I know better. I did put this in the wrong place. Wait, I'm busy. Oh, I'm so friggin' slow. Thank you for the procure. I didn't even get to do my slashy. Those puppets must have a leader lurking nearby. Let us take the battle to our ambusher, shall we? But before we resume the hunt, let us be sure of your technique. As a red mage, you are capable of casting 2 spells in rapid succession, using what is known as the dual cast effect. Intone a short spell, and you will find that a lengthy incantation can now be cast in an instant. Take advantage of this technique to bombard your foes with an arcane destruction. Well, this is rather unfortunate. No, I got a sword ability I need to use. We gotta move it. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bam. Woo. Oh, you killed him. Bruh. Doggy. Oh no, I got tiny. No! Ah. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Zerun would like to tell me why I was pulling aggro off of him, Mr. at least level 60. Well done, Akali. You have exceeded my expectations. Which is a fortunate thing, for I did not anticipate the arrival of that fearsome hound. Those mages were willing to forfeit their own lives to ensure that we lost ours. Do you see? The brand on her left cheek? This is the cursed sigil which stole her will and left her vulnerable to the most heinous of commands. Our ambushers were young men and women, every one, all transformed into mindless pawns by some hidden master. And this master has shown no compunction against sacrificing pieces that outlive their usefulness. No, this cannot stand. Heed me, Akali. You have begun your education in red magic, but there is much more I would teach you. Come, let us return to the Lich Yard. Is this where you're gonna hang out? Will I be able to find you in 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Know you the history of these graves? The church's Lich Yard is the final resting place for many victims of the 7th Umbral Calamity. Red magic was conceived to stem such tides of destruction in an age when the abuse of sorcery flooded the world with death. Its destruction from earlier disciplines is key. Whilst practitioners of black and white magic draw upon ambient aether, a red mage weaves her spells using only the reserves of mana with which she was born. In an era in which red magic was created, to do otherwise was forbidden. To manifest more powerful effects, the first red mages adopted a method by which precise sword techniques would harness and amplify the energy of their spoken incantations. The mage's own physical form serving as his arcane accelerator, an ingenious way of preserving their self-imposed limitations. Understand that the blade we wield is not simply a weapon, it is the focus of all our efforts to lessen strife and suffering. Red mage is so good! Also, look at this dad. Look at this hot dad. Every generation of red mage is part of an unending battle. We are soldiers who fight for those enduring violence and subjugation, the bulwark against the unkind vagaries of fate. There is only one valid Catboy in this game, and it is in fact this man. 20 years ago, I joined the revolutionaries in Alamigo and learned red magic alongside like-minded companions. We formed the Crimson Duelists, and together we rose up against the tyranny of the Mad King Theodric. We were crushed. Of all the duelists, only I survived to watch our homeland languish under the rule of imperial invaders. Oh, you're right! I forgot about E-Boy Adam! You're right. There's 2 valid Catboys, and one of them was E-Boy Adam. E-Boy Adam, he was a rando that we found who was the most valid person I'd ever come across. The only good rando. Even after leaving Alamigo, I never ceased fighting for its liberation, and when I learned of the calamity, of the threat to all the lands of Eorzea, I allied myself with the valiant scholars of Charlian. In the end, I was unable to protect my homeland, or halt the approach of fiery disaster, but never once in all these years have I betrayed the oath the duelists swore to champion the weak with heart and steel. Such is the nature of the magic you will learn from this idealistic fool. If you would master this art, however, then my road shall become your road for the duration of your studies. I will remain here at the church for the time being, and be a pest to the good Father Elude until we can uncover the origins of this cult. Your only chore shall be to reflect upon the lessons of the day and prepare for our next encounter. This man is the last red mage. And then, whenever he meets somebody, he's like, hey, do you want to become a red mage? And or they badger him like Alize did and demand to become a red mage. Those are the only two options. Alright. Time to stop being a red mage with my purple pants. What else do I have to do? Oh, that's right. We have one more thing to do and then we'll do story. Do I have better news? Thank you. I literally put it on whatever I can find on the ground. That is how I do. Oh, if Frey's at... No, Frey should be back in his corner. If Frey's not in his corner, I'm gonna be really cross. Hello! Frey is pleased to see you, as always. You look well, Akali, more determined. Hell yes. You have not heard this voice since last we spoke, I know, but worry not. If your affinity with the dark side is as strong as I believe, the communion is all you require. Come with me to the burning wall. You know what you must do. Do I? I was just there, Frey! Frey, I was just there. So cross. If I had known that Frey was just gonna tell me to go here, I would have perhaps done things a bit better. Where are we going? Where am I? It's the burning wall. I've lost Frey. Has anyone seen my... There we go. Frey... Why? It begins, as always, with blood. A confirmation of your identity. There are axe breaks here which have grown ferocious beyond reckoning. Vile creatures, eager to prey on man and beast alike. Offer yourself to them. They will come. Then make an offering to them. To me. Of them to me. Whoops. I can read. Allegedly. No, it's fine. It's fine. Frey, my gear is very bad. Don't make me fight things. Now that is the Akali I've longed to see. You resent this, don't you? This pointless trial. Perhaps you even resent me for subjecting you to it. Remember this feeling. Treasure it. I want it smoldering within you when we commune in Camp Drybone. Selena Gomez. She's over there. These quests really hit home when you had done every side quest. Close your eyes and hold out your hand towards me. Breathe deep through your nose, let the air fill your lungs, and let it pass from your lips. Slower. Slower. Listen to my voice. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen for the other. Thank the 12, it is you, Akali! Isambard, remember? It must have been ages since we last spoke. To think you would end up slaying the Lord of the Inferno when you first came through here looking for our missing common folk. I took you for a... but this isn't the time to reminisce. I sought you out because I need your help. It is very good. Do tell. Not long ago, an Almalja raiding party attacked a caravan on the road and abducted several pilgrims. We reported the incident to both the Brass Spades and the Immortal Flames, but it seems neither is in a position to muster forces at present. You know what lies in store if they are not rescued soon. Please, Akali, there is no one else. Really? Charge into an enemy encampment filled with Almalja warriors and free some fools who should have armed themselves? Risk life and limb to do the work of a dozen men, all because you bloody asked? Is that it? That's what we do. But that's what we do, isn't it? Every goddamn time. Fine, we'll bring them back. I thank you for... They were bound for the encampment to the southeast. Then so are we. I wish my Butterfingers mount with a count wide and not a single character. It's the worst. I want to ride on my Butterfingers mount. The nerve of some people. After all you do for them. They're inside, just as Zimbard said. Mere moments away from being tempered, I'm sure. Well, what are you waiting for? It's time to play the hero. It was really cute. There's so much Butterfingers in my house, though. Well, I actually don't know how much is left, because I don't like Butterfingers, so I've been making my sister eat it all. I don't know how she feels about Butterfingers anymore, but at one point she did like the candy. Q and I are technically co-workers, so... Yeah, we gonna keep moving, or...? Alright, you guys can stay there. Q doesn't simp. used to. When she was a young weeb. Not anymore, though. Just didn't know when to leave off, did they? Neither did you, though, eh? I mean, look at yourself. Most of that's not even your blood. I'm all dirty. Leave it. You've nothing to be ashamed of. Let's go and give Isbard the good news. Oh. Not my bars again. You simping, bro? Welcome back, Cully. I heard you really gave those Amalja the what for. Good show. I'm sure you're eager to be on your way, so I won't waste any more of your time, but thank you. Come back whenever you like. Those who have never faced death do not scruple to condemn others to it. They know nothing of true sacrifice and are weak for their ignorance. In sacrifice there is strength. In sacrifice there is liberation. Close your eyes and hold out your hand towards me. Breathe deep through your nose. Let the air fill your lungs, and let it pass from your lips. Slower. Slower. With every breath you grow lighter and slip further into the abyss. There I go. On a throne of bone she waits. Serve, save, slave, slay. They come to entreat her judgment. Serve, save, slave, slay. One by one in solemn procession. Reading is super fucking hard. So, what did you hear this time? And here I was thinking you were on the verge of discerning the truth. Your affinity with your dark side grows stronger by the day, and yet there's a hesitation. Listen to me, Akali. You have performed great deeds and saved countless people. You are a hero to the realm. But you are no Dark Knight. A Dark Knight accepts that she cannot save everyone, that sometimes she is fortunate just to save herself. Sacrifice, Akali, is to renounce that which binds you, to recognize that which matters, and forsake all that does not. At the very least, you must realize that you cannot continue to carry all these burdens, unless you wish to die a slave. I'm fine. Just a little tired. The communion is ended, and with it our time together, but we shall meet again, as we did before. Most excellent. Now I have to go to Britannia. So now I believe we've done all that we need to do. So we are popping right over to Britannia to continue with our main story quest. That did not take nearly as long as yesterday. Where am I going? What am I doing? Oh, hello, Elfino. I sent word to the Elder Seer upon arriving in Gridania, and I am pleased to report that she has agreed to grant us an audience. If anyone can help us contact the 12wood Moogles, it is she. We are expected at the Lotus Stand. I trust you are familiar with the conjurer stationed at its entrance? Yeah. The Elder Seer awaits you. I bid you welcome, friends. The Admiral spoke of having met with you, but 'tis no less of a relief to see you safe and hale with mine own eyes. We humbly thank you for agreeing to receive us upon such short notice, my lady, and for all that you have done for us in our absence. Would that it were solely to express our gratitude that we come to you this day. Alas, the tides of battle yet dictate our comings and goings. Elder Seer, we would beg your wisdom in a matter that may finally bring an end to the Dragonsong War. Speak on, friend. So, Moogles. I see. So you seek a means to contact these Moogles of the Churning Mists. Kupo, Kupo, I say Kupo! Greetings, Kuplo Cobb. To what do we owe the pleasure of your company? I was struck by a sudden urge to bring you some fruit, Nate, and I am jolly glad I did. Tell me more about these Moogles in the sky, Kupo. I will gladly tell you all I know, though it amounts to precious little. We encountered a Moogle high in the clouds of Dravania, and had hoped that you and your kin in the Twelveswood might agree to facilitate a meeting. Pray correct me if I'm mistaken, Kuplo, but there are legends, are there not, which speak of Moogles who dwelt beyond the clouds. Indeed there are, Kupo! Long, long ago, back when the world was still young, that my ancestors served the gods up in the heavens. Of course, that was before their masters took to bickering like spoiled children. Ah yes, the tale of good King Mogulmog the XII. He is revered for holding fast to a rope of miraculous length that his subjects might climb down from the sky and escape to the world below. Ignoring the more fanciful aspects of the tale, it may well be that Kuplo's ancestors hailed from the Churning Mists. Given how long his kin have resided in the Twelveswood, it is perfectly possible that the details of their history have faded into myth. Indeed, Master Elfino, such stories oft contain a measure of truth. 'Tis like that the Moogles of the Churning Mist tell similar tales of the world below. I can well imagine why the one you encountered fled at your approach. Oh, fleeing second nature to us. We often hide when the larger races come trampling through the forest. Of course, where there's one Moogle, there's bound to be more. Which is why I've decided to take a trip to the clouds, Kupo. They surely won't be afraid to talk to me. I was hoping you might say that, Master Kuplo. Will you accompany us, then? You just try and stop me, Kupo. I'll admit the thought of venturing outside the Twelveswood is a bit unsettling, but I can hardly refuse a chance to meet my distant, distant cousins. If you will have me, I too will accompany you on this venture and lend my voice to your cause as an ambassador of Gridania. My lady, are you quite certain? How oft has our nation turned to the scions of the Seventh Dawn in its hour of need? How oft have we asked the Warrior of Light to risk her life to save our own? Full many times, I say to you, and never have they refused us. Thus do I choose this day to offer mine aid to our allies for the good of the realm. Is this not just? A most unexpected and most welcome offer, Elder Seer. We would be honored by your presence. Pray return to the summit and inform our companions of these developments. I will serve as the Elder Seer's guide on the journey back to Sol Maul. It being a path I have already trodden, I do not anticipate any great difficulties. Besides, we shall have the Elder Seer's personal guard to escort us. Alright, bye. I will simply leave. Ooh. I am exceptionally lost. Hold on. There we go. Floop. Well met, warrior of light. Nidhogg is not stirred, but he watches us unblinking. The Elder Caesar herself answers your call. Then there is naught to do but wait. They're here, Kali. Greetings, my friends. I am happy to report that our journey was mercifully uneventful, devoid as the road was of Dravanians. It would seem the dragons have abandoned Solmal for the churning mists. Elder Caesar, may I present to you Sir Estinian, Ishgard's Azure Dragoon. 'Tis an honor to meet you, Sir Estinian. I have heard many tales of your order's extraordinary skill and courage. Oh, how polite. How polite of Estinian. Friends, I feel it only right to inform you that we are not alone. The Moogles are all around us even as we speak, and I should imagine they are more often a little concerned by the horde of strangers that have descended upon their home. Mayhap now would be an opportune moment to introduce ourselves. This should serve. They're hiding, of course, but there are so many of them, Kupo. I am Kan-e Sana. My companions and I have braved the long road from the Twelveswood to share words with you. On this, the occasion of our first meeting, we bring an offering of light and wind. Oh, such a gentle and pleasing glow, Kupo. I am Moglin, the chieftain of this Moogle clan. Chieftain Mooglin, it is an honor to meet you. Greetings, I am Kupo Cobb, ambassador of the Twelveswood Moogles. A Moogle from the world below. Your hide is a different hue, but that palm is unmistakable. I might need a moment here, Kupo. My companions were no less surprised to learn of your existence here amongst the clouds. I hope they did not startle you overmuch in their eagerness to make your acquaintance. Full well can I imagine your wariness. I am told that men have not walked here in nigh on 1,000 winters. Mayhap you will forgive their forwardness when I unfold to you the grave matter which brought them into your midst. My companions crave an audience with the great worm Hraesvelgar, that they might negotiate an end to the war twixt man and dragon. An end to the war, you say? I trust you, Kane-sana. The light of peace shines brightly within your soul. But I'm afraid the same cannot be said of your friends. To be plain, we did not hide ourselves because they were the first of your kind to be seen here in 1,000 years. Well, not only because of that. We hid because we smelled dragon blood. These skies are home to many, many dragons. While some crave peace, such as Hraesvelgar, many others crave the opposite, such as Nidhogg. Suffice it to say, we were worried that the presence of your blood-splattered warrior friends will attract the attention of the nastier kind and invite destruction onto our happy home. Now, just a moment, Chieftain. Akali here may have doled out the odd thrashing or two, but it's always been for a really good reason. She is a champion of the Twelveswood Moogles, and I'll not hear her good name slandered. No, Ambassador, let's not ruffle each other's furs. I shall of course take your testimony into consideration. If I may, Chieftain, there is little room for trust twixt strangers. Might we not take this opportunity to learn more of each other? An excellent suggestion, Kupo. In the interest of fostering friendship and keeping an eye on you, I intend to give you the hospitality of Mogholm. Prove yourselves worthy of our assistance, and it will be yours. I shall be watching, Kupo. Oh, look at all these Moogles. Tell me, in the world down below, do all your kind look so different from one another? Must be terribly disconcerting. What was it Kublo Cobb called you again? Akali. Huh, your names are as odd as your appearance. Have you ever considered a nice Moogle name? Moglin is taken, by the way, Kupo. As are Mogon, Mogmog, Mogwin, those being the names of the 3 wise Moogles who administer the momentous challenges that I have devised to measure your worth. I call them the Trials of Trustworthiness. Undertake these trials and we shall soon see whether or not you are worthy of our aid. I do need me a Dex. Moghan would test your trustworthiness with a trial. Hello, yes, I am Moghan, the foremost alchemist in Mogholm, if you must know. If your tummy's gloopy or your wings droopy, I have a potion to fix that. Or I would if I didn't keep running out of ingredients. Luckily, you're here to do my chore. Trial? Yes, go forth, mighty adventurer, and mightily pluck 3 sprigs of cloud's breath for me. You will find it blooming near the entrance of Elitoam. It's not the safest of places, so don't let yourself be too distracted by the pretty flowers, Kupo. So exceedingly fluffy. Mogmug would test your trustworthiness with a trial. Yes? You have the pleasure of speaking with Mogmug. I know. I am the fluffiest, most enchanting creature you have ever laid eyes upon, Kupo. It isn't easy being this adorable. I can barely take a stroll outside without those relentless Dravanians throwing themselves at me while they look as if they are just about to gobble me up. In any case, fleeing their overboring adulation is growing a bit tiresome. Your trial, madam, is this. Find these adderant archaeosaurs and slap some manners into them, Kupo. Perhaps a firm smack on the snout will teach them to appreciate my charm from afar. Just as their cousins in the Twelveswood, these Mogholm Moogles excel in the manipulation of aether. There are few who could detect them if they are not chosen to be detected. Mogwin would test your trustworthiness with a trial. Mogwin's the name, and art is my game. When it comes to painting, there are none in Mogholm who can match my talent with a brush, Kupo. I know why you have come. Chieftain Moglin has demanded that I test your trustworthiness, but I trust no one to create the art that will satisfy me. I instead charge you with retrieving a masterpiece I seem to have misplaced. It was ambitious and innovative work, guaranteed to fetch at least 4 Kupo nuts on the open market. You must find it. Question the masses. Surely a pebble painted in such vibrant color and unmistakable panache cannot have escaped the notice of every Moogle in Mogholm. Mogwin is missing his masterpiece, Kupo? Oh, you mean that paint-smeared mess of a pebble? I have not seen it recently, a fact which my eyes are profoundly grateful. That's so rude. Maestro Mogwin has misplaced his masterpiece, Kupo? Oh, happy day! I am a swifter in finding it. I will soon have a genuine Mogwin for the price of a little, perception. Honestly, who has 4 Kupo mutts just lying about on to spend on such luxuries? I don't know much about his stone, but I do know Mogwin's been creeping out in the back way to Solm Al Summit from time to time. Kupo, maybe he left it up there. Oh, hell yes. Slurp that right up. Oh, I suspect I may have forgotten to talk to somebody before I jumped the gun, perhaps just a touch. I did. Well, what did you find out, Kupo? Yes, now that you mention it, I do seem to recall leaving my pebble out in the sun to dry. Ahem. The second part of your trial commences. Go, adventurer, and retrieve my masterpiece before some art-starved admirer swipes the stone for himself. Oh, I don't want to ride that thing. It's a long way down. Do you have a Kupo? Is my masterpiece safe? Yes. Yes, this is my work. Is it not exquisite? I call it Contemplations of Zenith. Thank you, madam. At least I can exchange my art for those delectable Gubo nuts. Chieftain Moglin will hear of your valorous deed. Oh, is it better? 57, 56, 52, 28. I only gain one of everything. And I lose 10 direct hit. That's how it's always going to be. I don't think... Oh, it's actually the same amount of vitality. I'm gonna say no. We'll get the red mage staff instead. I need to bat these two on the snoot. Oh, thank you, Mr. Red Mage. Yes. I wonder if he wanted me to help him with that fate. That was simply not going to happen. I'm level 57, and I'm doing level 54 quests. I simply cannot. Cannot put any more XP into myself. No. Perhaps going the wrong way to find this twig. That seems likely. I'm sorry, I cannot be bothered. I'm going as fast as my little bunny legs can carry me. This twig. I keep walking by it because I keep zoning. There we go. I'm solving some mysteries. No, thank you. The Fury, take these ridiculous flying rodents. Yeah, that's about the attitude I expected from you. You were able to humble my Dravanian devotees? Wonderful. You are as capable as I am captivating, Kupo. Still, my precious perfection does not excuse those lots for pursuing me so mercilessly, their tongues lolling and bellies rumbling. The Dravanians and their ilk have much to learn about acceptable acts of admiration. We will need that summoner book eventually. Oh, I hope I didn't miss the chance on getting a lance, because that is something my Dragoon very much needs. Oh, Monkan, give me a lance. Did you have any trouble finding Cloud's Breath? I do need it urgently, you know. Please give me a lance. Oh yes, these are perfect, Kupo. Now I have the main ingredient for my palm tonic. Speaking of which, how are you feeling, miss? Should you ever feel your palm losing its bounce, then I'm your Moogle, Kupo. Yes. I have completed the trials of trustworthiness. I can put on my Dragoon. finally. Now I can do some damage. Oh, I don't care what you have to say. There we go. Chief Moglin is ready to pass judgment on your trial performance. Akali, if that is what you insist on calling yourself, you have completed the trials of trustworthiness administered by the taskmasters Moghan, Mogmog, and Mogwin. During these grueling tests of character, I closely observed your conduct as well as that of your companions, and I am decided, Kupo. Gather your friends before me now so that I need not repeat myself needlessly. I have to tell them individually to get the fuck over here. Are these trials over then? My tasks have been little more than household chores. If our hosts select not to grant their aid after working us like pack chocobos, I shall demand compensation and Kupo nuts out of principle, but I hope it will not come to that. Let us hear the chieftain's verdict, shall we? Have you been a good boy, Estinian? How go your trials, warrior of light? I myself have been sent on a number of expeditions to chastise the local dragon population. Did not their chieftain wish to avoid inflaming the Dravanians? Such contradictions aside, our host seemed entranced by the height of my leap. They compared me to Mog, a lance-wielding Moogle warrior of Eld, who also favored such attacks. 'Twas meant as a compliment, I expect, but I doubt these fury lumps could outleap a Kakua lamb, much less a dragoon. Conclude your business here swiftly, Akali. I like not this place. Mog is real! Mog is real, Estinian. Final Fantasy VI Mog, the greatest dragoon of all time. Standing here at Mog home, my thoughts turn inevitably to the legend of good King Moogle XII and his seat in the heavens. Like most, I thought it no more than a myth, a story for the younglings that grew with the telling. But with each passing moment, I become certain that we had discovered the origin of this tale. Full eager am I to hear what the chieftain has to say. Kana, she's just having a good time. What sorcery is this? That my heart should stir at mere fluffiness. Ah, Akali! I was... no matter what it was. Chieftain Moglin has made his decision? Well, let us not keep him waiting, then. We've become such friends, Kupo. My Moogle cousins love to sing and dance as much as I do. Chieftain Moglin has finally come to a decision, has he? Well, I suppose I better flutter over to see him, then. Never have I seen such determined workers, Kupo. It would have taken us moons to complete all those dreary chores and niggling errands. And have our labors proven the purity of our intentions, Chieftain? Without a doubt. In fact, there was never really all that much doubt to begin with. You were, after all, already friends with a fellow Moogle. But you see, before any meeting with Herez Velgar could take place, certain preparations needed to be made. And what better way to help pass the time than by having you perform all the tiresome tasks that no one ever wants to do, Kupo? Don't kill them. Oh dear! The horn! Bring out the horn! Quickly now! We blow on this wondrous instrument whenever we wish to speak with the great worm, Kupo. We haven't perhaps been treating it with the care it deserves of late, and I think Moghan might have sat on it, so we needed some time for cleaning and polishing and straightening. No lasting harm done, though. Now, you need simply head to Zenith, the warmest dwelling to the west, and give the horn a good toot. We are in your debt, Chieftain. Thanks to your noble gift, we shall finally have a chance to plead our case to Herez Velgar. Very possibly, yes. But I wouldn't get my hopes up too high, Kupo. The old worm isn't terribly fond of, Your concern is appreciated, but I am quite certain that Herez Velgar will welcome our overtures. Should we ever arrive at his lair? Come, we have squandered enough of time already. Chieftain Moglin, we thank you for your gracious hospitality. Though we must soon take our leave, I pray that we may continue to nurture the shoots of this new-sprung friendship with earth and sky. Of course, Kupo. Visit us whenever you wish. Consider Mogham your home amongst the clouds. I love him waving with his sword. Hello. Thanks for your help, Kupo. I doubt I would have ever found time for all those rotten chores. Hey, this wasn't my idea. If the chieftain had spent a little less time sitting about and a little more time chieftaining, things would have never gotten so messy in the first place. And he was the one that sat on the horn, by the way. But now all the errands are done, and the horn is fixed, so all's well that ends well, eh, Kupo? Moghan is ready to lead you out of Mogholm. I expect you're eager to be on your way. Did I mention your friend was looking for you, Kupo? If not, Elfino is looking for you. I'll be waiting just outside, stretching my wings. Let me know when you're ready to depart. Oh. Oh, did I miss? Well, Elfino's all the way down there. It will not be long now, Erase Velgar. To the best of my knowledge, we have all we need for our trip to Zenith, and I believe the Elder Seedseer and her retinue will soon be making journey back to Gridania. It would be remiss of us, I think, not to convey our gratitude to them prior to our going separate ways. Shall we? Elfino, Akali, I do humbly thank you for what has been a most enlightening experience. Were it not for your pioneering spirit, the existence of these Moogles might never have been revealed to us. 'Tis we who should be thankful, Elder Seedseer. Were it not for your timely diplomacy, they would have never chosen to reveal themselves at all. And 'twas your presence, Kublokop, that ultimately won us their trust. It must have taken great courage to leave the sanctuary of the Twelveswood, and we are exceedingly glad that you did. It was my pleasure, Kupo. I have made many new friends and have so many fantastic tales to tell my kinsmoogles back home. And it is to our home that we must now return. May you walk ever in the light of the crystal, my friends. Safe journey, Elder Seedseer. We too must be on our way. His race Velgar awaits. Warrior of Light, pray attend closely to your companion, Sir Stinian. Beneath that stoical facade, a storm of anguish seethes unseen. He'll be fine. The closer we come to Heray's Velgar, the higher my spirits rise. But it is I who am elated, or Saint Shiva. We have tarried overlong. Let us forge ahead as swiftly as we may, lest Ishgard bear the brunt of the Horde's fury. Enough talk. Let us leave this risable place behind us. Have you said your goodbyes and dabbed away your tears, Kupo? Then we are indeed ready to go. Moghon has volunteered to lead you to Zenith. As Chieftain Moglin has already explained, the shiny instrument we gave you is the best means of grabbing Heray's Velgar's attention. I'll come along and show you the way to Zenith. That's the big place where you need to blow the horn. First things first, though, we need to make for Ash. Oh, and watch out for rampaging dragons. Maybe that should have been the first thing, Kupo. Do not want to ride this one. Actually, yeah, you had to fight a behemoth, right? I heard he was very hard. Yeah. It was I really enjoy the Monster Hunter version of or the Final Fantasy version of Rathalos. And I hear that you had to play them. So you had to do the Rathalos fight in Final Fantasy like you would a Monster Hunter fight. So it was better done with 4 tanks. And you just wailed on the thing because he didn't have aggro anyway. And in Monster Hunter, it was better to play it like Final Fantasy XIV, where you have a dedicated tank, a healer, some DPS. So if you, yeah. And I think that's Neato Burrito. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, that's how it was in the Final Fantasy fight too, at least the extreme version. If you had more than 3 deaths, that was fight was automatically over. Which was new to the community. Yeah, that's what I was just telling Sprightly. That's what I heard. So we have one it was ass and one it was great. Oh. The histories make no reference to the existence of these ruins. Curious, most curious. Do you see the sculpture to the south and west of here? I'm all but certain it was carved in the likeness of Saint Shiva. South and west. Well, there she is. Never would I have believed that so much land lay hidden above the clouds. Dravania is not as I imagined it. Things were a bit bitey for a while there, but I think we have all arrived in one piece, Kupo. I wonder what has the dragon so awfully snappy? I mean, the bad ones are always bad, but they seem worse than usual. Mogon seems fretful about the weather. We may have a small problem, Kupo. When the winds are high like this, Race Velgar inevitably abandons his lofty perch and heads to the lands below to hunt. If you tried blowing the horn now, I doubt he'd hear it. I suggest we stop at the clearing up ahead and rest until the wind dies down. Oh, why am I walking? I could be riding. The fates make mock of us, to be so close. And now the very elements conspire to delay our meeting with her race, Velgar. I must be patient. Who can say when the weather will turn? I have a mind to make camp. This should do nicely, Kupo. The winds will likely have died down by tomorrow, but until then, we might as well make ourselves comfortable. If we must interrupt our journey so close to its end, I suppose this place is as good as any. And mayhap a brief respite from the hardships of the road will help to clear the mind in readiness for the coming parley. Very well, then I believe a campfire is in order. Leave the gathering afield to me. I acquired a keen nose for firewood during my time in the frozen wastes of Kurthus. Clear our minds. 'Tis Master Alphino whose mind needs clearing. The thought of meeting a great worm in the flesh has befuddled the boy. Do you see him stroll away as if these ruins were not crawling with deadly beasts? Follow him, Akali, and see that the wildlife does not make a meal of our young friend. We will have camp ready by the time you return. I'm gonna get Monster Hunter Rise when it hits the PC, and I will definitely play some of that. Because everyone has it. Everyone had Monster Hunter on PC originally. I simply had it on the PlayStation 4. I would like this, thank you very much. I heard when it first got released on PC, it was very rough. Which is why I didn't end up getting it again. Leave the firewood to me. Yeah, Elvino. I'm gonna need you to take a hike, my dude. there's one here the whole time. Excuse me, everyone. This is very important. I've prepared some things for a meal. It will be plain fare, but better than empty bellies. I see I was right to worry about the boy's safety. Once Alphino returns with the wood, we can see about supper. The Ice Queen has filled a pot with what looked like stew ingredients, ready for the fire. Alphino has gotten so good at collecting wood. I thought for sure this was going to be voiced, so I almost took a huge bite of food. Few things compare to the simple pleasure of sitting beside a cackling campfire of one's own making. So speaks the great explorer. Until recently, you wouldn't have recognized firewood if it came with kindling and a flint. Which is well you instructed me so patiently then. But yes, left to my own devices, I would have been compelled to signal your sail with a pile of damp leaves. I was born the pampered son of a Charlian dignitary, and, alongside my twin, became the youngest student ever to be accepted into the studium. How proud I was to match wit with scholars and philosophers, how ignorant of my own shortcomings. That hubris invited manipulation and betrayal, and led to the downfall of the Scions. We, all of us, are guilty of similar ignorance. How many men lay down their lives, never knowing what it is they fight for, never questioning that which they have been taught to believe? 'Twas only upon meeting Herase Velgar that I learned the truth hidden within our history. Were it not for the chance encounter, I would have vowed to tear down the Holy See and expunge the falsehoods with which it fans the flames of conflict. I would have lived and died in ignorance. That the truth has driven me to do terrible things I cannot deny, but I'd rather sin in the pursuit of peace than imagine myself virtuous for perpetuating a needless war. If this journey has taught me anything, it is the importance and difficulty of holding on to one's convictions in the face of failure, of striving always to replace one's ignorance with knowledge. You are well on your way, Master Alphino. At your age, I was but a fool swinging a spear with scarcely a thought in my head. Even now, I struggle to acknowledge the misconceptions under which I have labored. Sitting here amongst these grand ruins, how can I deny that man and dragon once lived in peace? But for all that such an age existed, we are now in a time of war. Nidhogg killed my family, and no quirk of history will exonerate him. I may be ignorant of how the Dragon-Saw War began, but if we do not put an end to this conflict now, I can say for certainty that it will only breed more vengeful souls such as mine. In my hands resides the power to vanquish a great worm. If Ishgard's survival rests on me wielding that power, I will slay Nidhogg myself, orders or no. Estinian, you gave your word. My word is contingent upon the success of our parley. Show me the strength of your convictions, Lady Iceheart. Convince Herase Velgar of the righteousness of your cause. Doubt not, but that I shall, Dragoon. Well, winds willing, we shall have our answers on the morrow. Let us sleep now and face our fate with the rising of the sun. I don't think it is. No. 50. Oh, I'm in my casting. I'm quite certain this will not be better than what I'm wearing on White Mage. I should see. Oh, it is. Look at that. Look how fancy. Maybe I should have taken the staff. Oh well. We must succeed in winning Horace Valgar to our cause. Lend me your resolve, Saint Shiva. Whenever you are ready, Warrior of Light, full eager am I to gaze upon this great worm. I trust you are well rested, Akali? Good. If we are to parley with Horace Valgar, we shall each need the full complement of our wits. Moghan is gazing meaningfully at the path to Zenith. The campfire was so cozy, I must have fallen asleep, Kupo. But do you feel how the winds have shifted? They will have borne Horace Valgar back to the skies above Zenith. I am sure of it. This is your chance to climb to the highest floor of the palace and summon him with a toot of that shiny horn. So, I'll be heading back now, if it's all the same to you. Good luck, Kupo. It was nice knowing you. Oh, hell yeah. Hold on, guys. Slurp that up. Lend me your resolve, Saint Shiva. So this is the place. It is time, Warrior of Light. Oh, it's the dragon song.
Velga.
S in M Wayborn
I'm trying to decide if I should read the dragon speech. I mean, I'll just leave it as is.
By the 12. Mine ears hear the tongue of dragons, yet the meaning rings clear within my mind. How can that be?
Racefelger, do you not remember me? 'Twas I whom you found in Dravania. I who glimpsed the truth. The truth about your past. About Shiva. But speak it I must. I have summoned Shiva's soul from the beyond and offered myself as her vessel. She has made her heart known to me.
Enya. Lis ways. XIV. En eski anshis li esishin.
I have surrendered mine to her. Do you not see, my love? I am Shiva reborn!
Ugh.
Angan. Esklai for Ineshilai. Kano kishesole. Non shin esh olin. Ineshin eldu olin. I'm for is nian il ankin. Lisnesk nedidranan. Eskia unkin nesh. Ikin monesh Esk esh et all. Esk esh easy lis nice.
Then the spirit that answered me.
Tene. Esh edi in eski. Non esi somi shisi shi.
Be that as it may, Lord Racefelger, Izel's desire to heal the rift between man and dragon is real, and it has borne us this far. We would spare both our kind and yours the ravages of this senseless war. Pray join your voice to ours in a call for peace and forgiveness.
Ten I elgain. Kakole soin. Slusk star ishiste. Stosk in. An asai in losk. Teto hamafo. Esk ein ison ul an. Dran il ul esk afashi. Für einigen losken stari strari dran. Lar hesne schnell. Tohamaftar, feskdu for one istrasi, on lis esta ilthon. Sai if in ned, or ratadoska, stray ul morn in. Seski annan lisna, kase, tjene ned el monikel, eskian, esnech is esnes as list. Is lufta, sit fra antu Kish an esh el ra. Sithmon I Ratatoska Nizeg Ed, for always Indar. Kal Eikmon Thorn en Yui, Alefe in Leita, Working Ushkin in. San es Shisnishka, Stadrana Moi. Snodoankin, Uteda Ma Azmurnish.
Your tale bears scant resemblance to the one I was taught. How convenient that it should absolve your kind of all responsibility. But tell me, Dragon, why should I believe your version of events?
So that's what this was actually talked about earlier in the patches, because none of the city-states wanted to help Ishgard, and they were like, why? Why should we care? The Dragon Song War will resolve itself one way or another. And the problem with letting the dragons destroy Ishgard is that the dragons will not stay in Ishgard. They will destroy it and they will return to their homes. Eorzea faces bigger problems than just dragons. Dragons aren't even a problem with Eorzea. But should you leave that vacant land open with the footings of a stronghold, the Garlean Empire, with their flying machines, can easily come and take that point in the mountains, giving them a very advantageous position in which to set siege upon Ishgard. So it's not so much we're saving Ishgard for Ishgard's sake, we need to save Ishgard and stop it from being razed for Eorzea's sake. Because Emmerich was like, yeah, you can let my city burn to the ground, but this is what happens if you do. And it's true, the Garleans will take Ishgard when the dragons leave it, and they will build an insanely strong base there in the mountains that will be very, very difficult for any of the grand companies to take. Gridania and Limsa and Ulda do not have the means of taking such a stronghold in the mountains. They just wouldn't be able to. And it would be the end of Eorzea if Ishgard were to fall.
Ishgard's so-called heretics.
Sale, born I Nesh Iratatoska kin for Elna. Sith is Nesh Dokin an.
Then the seed lies within us.
Is Ros Esh Idran, Oloson Inizeg, non Nish I Espdiedran en, Wa Ulwa, Skola Es, Alakin El Andranken, Mondo.
Ye gods! I have borne witness to such a transformation. Looked on as a heretic assumed the shape of a dragon. I imagined it some manner of Dravanian enchantment. But if any Ishgardian, regardless of allegiance, has such potential within them, 12 forgive us. To think of all the dragons we've slain!
War Ulmon Alaan.
Yeah, kind of.
Kaul smaim, kol su thrahal sesknomi, se an in kilisek.
Oft have I wondered why Nidhogg did not simply raze Ishgard to the ground. Now I have my answer. He has no intention of winning the Dragonsong War, for it is no war at all, but vengeance, an eternal requiem sung for his murdered sister.
In ice in Draho, ale inia in.
I have not come this far only to admit defeat. We can still return the eye to Nidhogg and beg forgiveness for our ancestors' crimes. Mayhap our words will sway him.
Ja an, lis as an in, en la tu ole ul in an hers isu. Mik du set in sohi, nosta no lis as dui for in. Ka, en isi a ultran as nisek for, en lai as nesh I an iratatoska. En sith son ishi, eskfa ulgar los an. Snosk for an, non an lis I an. Skol ilens an. Skol.
What false god is this Shiva? What manner of phantom have I welcomed into my heart? As predicted, Iceheart's faith in the worm was misplaced, which leaves us with but one recourse. You know I have the right of it, warrior of light. Herace Valgar was every bit as awe-inspiring as I had imagined. His voice fairly dripped with power, the will behind his words so undeniable that it transcended my ignorance of the dragon's tongue. It is but a pity that I misliked what he said. So far did we travel, even unto the very heavens themselves, only to be dismissed like unruly children. And far from the mitigating this humiliation, the hidden truths we have learned serve only to prove that our grand mission of peace was destined to fail from the start. Nothing will deter Nidhogg from his course. Elfino is considering your party's next course of action.
Well, what do you propose we do now? I, for one, am intent on continuing to the east.
What is there to be found in the east?
Nidhogg's lair, the Eyrie, is said to lie in that direction. And the eye tells me he is near.
You cannot still mean to slay him.
Bitch, what else are we supposed to do?
You cannot still mean to stop me. I have been true to my word, and aided you in this fool's errand with Hraesvelgr. But your efforts at parley have come to naught, Lady Iceheart. I would see Ishgard saved, and for that, Nidhogg must die.
With the tale of our ancestors' vile betrayal yet ringing in your ears, you speak of continuing this war?
I mean, what else are you supposed to do, right? Just let this happen? It won't end. Something has to give.
Nay, lady. I would but pierce its vengeful heart. When Nidhogg dies, this war shall die with him.
A moment, Estinian. You yourself spoke of the Great Worm's strength, that you believed him powerful enough to raise your city to the ground. How then are we few to challenge him? Even behind the stout walls of Ishgard, with an army of knights manning the defenses, our victory would be hard won. Yet you propose to contend with the beast in his own lair.
He's a stinky man.
In close combat, this will afford us an advantage. And with two Azure Dragoons working in unison, who can say what might be possible?
Aw, shit. I think it's special dialogue because I just happened to be in my Dragoon. I was just trying to get it some levels.
But such speculation is meaningless if we cannot even find the worm. Our first task must be to seek out Nidhogg's lair.
The story of this nation grows bloodier by the moment. Must death always be answered with more of the same?
Such is the way of things, I fear. I shall consider it a miracle if mine armor is not stained crimson ere this conflict is ended.
Sorry, that's funny for other reasons.
I should be blinded by my own lies. Everything I believed, everything I thought I was, gone. All gone.
Leave her. Your words will not reach her now. And we have not the time to wait for her to gather up the pieces of her shattered faith.
It's tough to learn that you're a sock puppet for some fake god that you created in your head. That's not easy. What false god? Oh, we already said this, but here. Come here. We'll just hug it out. Everything's gonna be totes jobs. Bye-bye. So primal stuff is based on prayers and whatnot. When you believe in something, I guess Good King Moggle Mog is probably the best example. The Moogles believed that there was a great big Muggle king in the sky who saved all the Muggles from, you know, a bunch of devastation long ago. So they believed hard enough, and they were able to summon him into being with crystals and prayers and faith. She did the same. This is not the way to go. Where that she believed in this woman so very much that she believed her prayers and crystals and faith would summon that very woman to her. But that's not how primal summoning works. And the prayers, it's based on your sort of vision of this god. It's not the actual gods. The gods that the beast tribes and the Moogles and the Yaaaay summoned are not real gods. They're made up of what they believe those gods to be. And so the Shiva she summoned was just an idealistic version of what she believes Saint Shiva to be, not what she actually was or is. Only Horace Velgar knows that. I'm so strong now. Because I have better gear. It's amazing. Better go this way, I think. Well, it's Shiva based on like in the broadest terms. So like we've had the summons and primals in this. Well, actually the primals in this game are all based off of Final Fantasy VII, or not Final general Final Fantasy summons. Um, they're not actually related to. I'm just gonna jump. I'm being oppressed. They're not actually related to the summons in those games. So Shiva Shiva's something completely different in Final Fantasy XIV. But there's lots of what Final Fantasy XIV does really, really well is they do a lot of Easter eggs, like a lot of references to the other Final Fantasy games. A really, really good example actually is so there we have La Habrea that's running around, but we've met some of the other Ascians too, like Igiorum and well, Elidibus doesn't technically count. Oh, and Nebrialis. Those are all references to Final Fantasy XII summons. And so it's things like that. She has this Saint Shiva has no connection to the Shivas in the other games. It's just common Final Fantasy stuff. Just like there's always a man named Sid. Always a man named Sid. Yeah, it's very good. I want that. Excuse me. Please allow me. Yeah. The Stinian like jumped halfway across the map, and I don't think that's right. All I've got is a magic carpet. Oh, frick. Animation lock! I was trying to leave, sir. Don't bother me. I am very busy. Estonian, pray tell me I am wrong.
Is that it?
Aye, that would be me the Aerie. I feel Nidhogg's presence through the eye, his caustic hatred gnawing at my soul. 'Twould seem the death of his consort has put him on guard. Mark how he wards his lair with tempestuous winds.
A similar barrier once barred our entrance to the Primal Garuda's domain, until we discovered the means by which it could be penetrated. Mayhap it is time we
Penetration.
called upon Master Garland. It will be just like the good old days, no?
That was very funny. If our only remaining recourse is to violence, then we should seek out the swiftest path to victory. With every moment we hesitate, Ishgard's prospects grow bleaker. Estinine would have you enlist the aid of Cid Garland. A force of sufficient power to break through a primal's defenses might conceivably grant us access to the Aerie, and I can offer no better solution. Pray consult this engineer friend of yours. Very well, on the condition that you swear not to lure Nidhogg from his lair in our absence. And steal all the glory for myself, you mean? Nay, I am not so selfish at that. Contact me by Link Pearl when your preparations are complete, and we shall set forth from Ishgard together. I suggest we rendezvous back at St. Renette's Forum, Acully. From what I gleaned, the Holy See's decidedly ambitious airship project, Cid will still be in Ishgard. Okay, bye. I'll be lazy about it. And I'll make an assumption that I know where he is. Oh, good. When last you saw Master Garland, he was advising the Ishgardians on their ailing airship, correct? In that case, he might still be at Camp Cloudtop. Failing that, we could try the airship landing, or mayhap even the Sky Steel Manufactory, but let us not waste time searching aimlessly. Someone in the city is sure to know where to find him. The question is who? Sir Emmerich would seem the obvious choice, but there is no guaranteeing he will be able to grant us an audience at short notice. Oh, I have it! Count Edmond's youngest son prides himself on knowing all the Holy See's juiciest rumors. Let us return it to the manor and see if Lord Emelian is about. Oh, Elvin, oh no. I don't want to talk to him. Welcome, Mistress Yana. Shall I show you inside the manor? Yes. We were fortunate to find Lord Emelian at home. The tavern keeper's loss is our gain. When it comes to exchanging information of uncertain origin, Lord Emelian is something of a prodigy. Well, we all gotta be good at something. Oh, the hero returns! How goes the fight, old girl? Well, I trust? Huh? In search of Cid Garland, you say? Then say no more. The taverns are full of talk, and the name of said silver-haired genius has cropped up more often than most. I hear he has been tasked with getting that monstrous airship the Holy See commissioned to actually fly. 'Twould seem the project has plagued with mishaps from the first. In any case, Garland Ironworks employees are known to frequent the airship landing, and I'll wager their master does too. The airship landing! Yes, as I thought as much. Come, Acully, we must fight Cid and trouble him for his expert opinion. I think I know... Oh, I thought there was a couple landings, but I'm gonna go to the Astrologian place first, because I think that's the one they're talking about. Ho ho ho. What are you nerds doing? Get out of my way. What's that? The dragons are coming! Oh, sorry, can't talk now. Have to finish this job and get out of here. If Ishgard comes under attack, we'll have to get out of the city pretty sharpish. Don't much like the idea of leaving a job half finished, though. Akali, Alphino, how fare you both? Not terribly well, judging by your faces. Greetings, Master Garland. I am sure it will come as little surprise when I tell you we have need of a favor. Another wind barrier, and you say it was conjured by Nidhogg. The Enterprise could certainly take you to where you need to go, but she would not fare well against dragons. She's agile for a ship her size, but not that agile. The Dravanians could fly rings around her. And if they took it into their heads to incinerate the rigging, there would be precious little we could do to avoid them. But there must be something we can do, some manner of weapon we could employ. Estinian said vigil at the edge of the churning mists, but we do not know how much longer. Alright. I didn't say it was impossible. I said it was impossible for the Enterprise. We need a smaller boat. Biggs, Wedge, it's time we got that new toy of yours proper field test. It's probably best if I let the lad show you. Come on, the manufactory's not far. But it is far. It's so far. Yes, the Sky Steel Manufactory. As I recall, this workshop is primarily devoted to the construction of dragon-slaying weapons. They all want to build bigger, but we know where the future is headed. The Ishgardians have granted us the use of a small corner of their workshop, all part of the agreement. I think you'll see we've made the most of the space. I want to see. Fuck all. Our little project's just inside. Oh, you're gonna like this one.
Feast your eyes upon our latest and greatest feat of engineering. We call it a mana cutter.
This was not in here when I looked. 100%.
After you put down Gaius, Wedge and me struck out on our own for a bit, and started work on the successor to the tiny Bronco.
Impressive little thing, isn't she? My talent for ship design has plainly rubbed off on them. They've adapted the principles of corrupted crystal technology and constructed a mechanism which converts ether from its surroundings into elemental wind. Said wind is then harnessed by the specially engineered sails, providing the craft with propulsion and lift. All in all, a most elegant solution. I'm actually a little upset that I didn't think of it myself.
The design does, however, come with one small flaw.
The energy conversion ratio's bloody awful. To generate enough power to get you off the ground, you need to be in an area awash with predominantly wind-aspected ether.
In other words, there are a few places you can fly, lots of places you can't.
The new Ishgardian airship hasn't left the boys much time for tinkering, meaning it may be a while before this particular project takes off. If you'll forgive the pun.
Tataru, what's happened?
I've been looking all over for you. There's been word from Aldar. It's about Her Grace, the Sultana.
It seems you're required elsewhere. Leave the mana cutter with us. We'll see that she's airworthy and suitably equipped to slice through those winds. You, meanwhile, should concentrate on providing Raoban and the Sultana whatever help they need.
I'm intrigued as you, Cully. Shall we hear what news Tataru has brought us? Tataru has news for you from Ul'dah. General Boban says that they may have uncovered the Sultana's whereabouts, and he wants you, by which I mean both of you, to go to the Waking Sands right away and help with the investigation. Come on, Cully. Pressing though Ishgard's plight may be, our presence here will not serve to hasten the Mana Cutter's completion. Let us return to the troubled lands of Thanalan and lend what aid we may. Tataru, have our friends in the Congression send message to Justinian. Tell him we have identified a solution to our problem, and that it will take some time to prepare. As you wish, Master Elvino. To the Waking Sands, Warrior of Light. 'Tis past time Ul'dah was delivered from this darkness. Pray return to the Waking Sands. This might be all we have time to do. Solve Uldah's problems. Oh, I'm stuck. There we go. Papa Sean.
Thank you for coming.
No thanks are necessary, General. I trust your recuperation continues apace.
I cannot complain. Thanks to Higiri and her ministrations, I've regained much of the strength I lost during my imprisonment.
I gather you have made progress in the search for Her Grace.
Aye, some good fortune at last. A few days past, Dulala informed us that a sizable shipment of alchemical supplies had been delivered to the palace.
With Papa Shan's assistance, I set out to ascertain the source and nature of the shipment. My inquiries led me to Frondale's frontistery. There, I learned that an order had been placed for a curious substance designed to sustain patients trapped in death-like slumber. An invention of the former head alchemist, apparently.
A death-like slumber? This cannot be a coincidence.
It lends some weight to Dulala's claims, aye. Her Grace is likely somewhere within the palace, abed but alive.
Before making any attempt to extricate the Sultana, however, it seemed prudent to learn what manner of substance was used to induce her torpor. To that end, I made inquiries as to the whereabouts of the one most like to have administered it. The lady-in-waiting, Meriel. We sent for you as soon as we learned of her location. All that remains is to apprehend the woman.
We shall find our cat's paw in the Silver Bazaar. But we must tread carefully. The market is not the bustling place it once was, and someone is sure to mark our coming. Should they inform the monetarists, we'll have a fight on our hands. We must be prepared for the worst, and being short an arm, I thought it wise to take another in its stead. What say you, Warrior of Light? Will you lend me yours? Then I pity the bastard that stands in our way. Come, my friend, for Nanamo, and for Ul'dah!
Yeah, but imagine how buff it would get, like, if it was his. If one had chosen to entrap the Sultana in a death-like sleep rather than slay her, then one would surely also know a means to rouse her from such state. There must be an antidote to this poison. Our target is Muriel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting, a woman of Midlander heritage. I am told the two of you have met. Our sources indicate that she left the palace shortly after the incident and quietly rejoined the dwindling population of the Silver Bazaar. I suggest we begin by questioning the market's residents and confirm that Muriel is still in hiding there. That man is so much bigger than me. My little cat arm would do nothing. He would still pretty much be short an arm at that rate. I actually can't recall. Just better off still not having an arm at that rate. Muriel? Aye, she's here. Left the city for good, she says. Barely leaves her house, though. It's the closest one to the market entrance. And what brings you to our lonely little hamlet? I believe the arrival of our entourage just doubled our population. Looking for Muriel, you say? If you're hoping to lure her back to Ul'dah, you may as well give up now. That girl's done with city life. Gods damn it, where is she? I will tear this place apart if I must. Easy now, General. We don't want her bolting down some other hole. I have met the Sultana's handmaiden on numerous occasions, but I cannot for the life of me bring her features to mind. Our target is Muriel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting. Oh. God darn it, Yuri. Do I know of any returning residents? Gods, don't tell me they're starting to come back. My masters will not be pleased to hear of this. I'm just gonna knock into all 3 houses until I find her. Kick down the door. Oh, there she is. Found her.
You are Muriel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting?
I know no one of that name. Pray excuse me. General Alden!
Gonna run that by him again?
We will have the truth from you, girl.
Mayhap it would be better coming from me.
I love Lolorito. He's a little bastard.
Lolorito, you'd best talk fast.
As you know,
Teleji Adeleji's Cartano reclamation bill was no more than a facade. A means to get his grubby little hands on that Allagan monstrosity Omega.
Reclamation bill.
When he learned of Nanamo's intention to abdicate, however, he was forced to amend his plans. Suddenly, assassination seemed the most promising way to further his ambitions.
Oh, the rolling R's. I miss his original voice. He's like, it's against the law to draw your sword and kill syndicate members. Sword syndicate.
I am told Teleji had discovered a maid in whose veins ran the blood of House Thorn. A new, more pliable puppet to sit the throne. 'Twould have caused an uproar, of course, but few could have contested her claim. 'Twas plain that Teleji's wild machinations had outgrown our ability to control them. So I decided to usurp his scheme and left the fool to seal his own demise.
And what of Nanamo?
Oh, I have no desire to harm her grace. 'Twould profit me little to destabilize our government. Thus did I employ young Mariel here to administer a potent sleeping potion in place of a poison. You should know, General, that your dear friend Ilberd was fully aware of my plan.
And when he said, he was like, oh, I killed your Sultana, he was just lying to make Roban mad so that Roban would fight him. Because he really wanted to fight Roban. Because why not? Everything already was in hell in a handbasket. Might as well have yourself a good time with your old war buddy.
I had him lie about the assassination as a means to prime your rage against Teleji. We weren't entirely sure how you would react, but things went rather better than expected.
You fucking killed that dude, and it was awesome.
You conniving little worm. You had your claws in the Crystal Braves before their first recruit had sworn to serve!
But of course, when a new game begins, 'tis only prudent to have a piece on the board. Ilberd was mine. Truth be told, a significant proportion of the Braves' initial endowment was also mine. With such large sums moving about, 'twas a rather trifling matter to disguise my own contribution.
One of the people that you try and recruit to the Crystal Braves actually says as much, and he's like, there is so much money that belongs to the Syndicate that I have no desire to be part of that nonsense. But when you talk to other people, they're like, no money here. I think it's no monetarist money, it's all our own, so. Somebody dropped the ball.
Ah, Ilberd. I secured his services with a promise to support his cause once my authority had been solidified. I swear, the man thinks of naught but prizing Alamigo from the grasp of the Empire. Unlike you, General, the poor fellow seems quite unable to forsake the land of his forefathers. Mayhap that's why he called you a traitor to your people and a disgrace to your homeland, amongst other things. What was it he always compared you to? Oh, yes, an overgrown lapdog begging for scraps at the Sultana's table. Oh, how we laughed.
Oh, how we laughed. It was hilarious.
Alas, Ilberd's entertaining little outbursts eventually gave way to wearisome tirades, and the zealous brute became rather unruly. I had no wish to see you executed, you understand, but he would not take no for an answer. Rest assured, his employment with me has long since ended.
I love the way this man talks. Ugh, I love Lolorito. He's horrible.
Which brings us neatly to the present. What say you, General? Both you and the Sultana are alive. We have one corpse and one fugitive. And preparations have been made to restore your good name. Shall we cry quits and start again with a blank ledger?
Never mind all that other bullshit. Let's just do it again.
The hells we will! Do you honestly expect me to forgive and forget? After all you've done? You're guilty of high treason!
Even Nanamo?
Stay your blade, Master Alden. You yourself are not innocent. Or have you forgotten your own crime in executing Teleji Adeleji without trial?
Even Tataru? And Cryle?
Though you acted out of loyalty to the Sultana, such deeds are in violation of both the word and spirit of the law.
You can't just go around killing people. Apparently.
If you would, Lord Lolorito?
We all did big crimes, so we're simply not going to talk about it anymore.
This potion will wake the Sultana from her slumber. Consider it a gesture of conciliation.
I don't know how he gets away with this, but I like, so we can all admit that we did some wrong, some more than others. We just won't talk about it anymore and pretend it didn't happen. And that's how we're going to solve this current messy situation.
You will find Her Grace resting comfortably within her private chambers. Should you doubt my word, I shall willingly accompany you to the palace as your hostage.
High treason, slaughter, manslaughter, it's fine.
I like not your motives, Lolorito. But you saved the Sultana's life, and for that, you have my gratitude.
There's also a bunch of Syndicate members that we have not spoken to, and I wonder if they're just like, they either don't care, or they're like, man, there's some crazy shit going on. Teleji's dead, and we're just not going to talk about it anymore. He did suck, don't get me wrong, but it's still fucking messed up that we just let him die like that.
Rauban Aldin, you are hereby reinstated as General of the Immortal Flames. The citizens of Ul'dah shall once more be united under Nanamo Ul'Namo, and together we shall usher in a new age of prosperity.
I don't think you have the authority to do that, Dawalala. This woman is probably scared to death. She's one of the Syndicate members. She sits there. She's there every time we see the Syndicate. Alright. Has been a hot minute. Hello, everybody. You had killed the one you served. Pray excuse my mutterings. I was reminded of a line from an old poem. By the 12, I feared Lolorito's arrival would herald another bloodbath. Little did I suspect that he of all people would gift us the means to rouse the Sultana. Most excellent. Elfina would see this dark chapter in Ulda's history brought to a close. Shall we make our way to Ulda? I should imagine Bartholomew has been instructed to admit us. I guess so. Flame General Raban mentioned you might be coming. Please, this way if you will. God save, there was so much Ulda that Ulda even like took up a great deal of the main Ishgard fucking story. She's been in bed for months at this point.
I was having the longest dream.
You were there? And you? And you?
'Tis time to wake up, Your Grace. Another day begins in Thanalan, and the sun blazes bright upon the sands.
Yeah. We won't talk about it. We're not supposed to talk about it. Anything that just happened. It's all fine.
Her Grace is awoken. The palace physician assures me she's none the worse for her slumber.
Doubtful, but alright.
I believe Her Grace will soon resume her plans to place the government of Ulda into the hands of its citizens. Whatever path she chooses to take, I shall walk it with her. And we shall tread slowly, lest the nation be unsettled in our wake.
Her Grace's compassion is a shining beacon to us all. But what our city truly thrives upon is competition. 'Tis in the struggle against our rivals that opportunities are seized and fortunes made. And with the Empire on the offensive once more, now would hardly seem the time to turn our system of government upon its head.
Are you privy to new intelligence, my lord?
I would hardly call it new. Remind me, what was the name of that enormous Imperial warship which met its end in Mordona? Wait, I have it. The Agrias, yes, well. 'Twould appear that the Garleans have been hard at work on another such vessel.
How close are they to completing this ship? Is it operational?
Its maiden flight was a success, I hear. I should imagine Emperor Varys is eager to see how it performs in battle. My lords and ladies, I move that it is time to repair the damage caused by Telegi Adelegi and prepare our great nation to repel the Empire once more.
I got dragons. I got Garleans. I got little Laredo. I've got so many things happening around me.
'Tis well that the Sultana has awoken. The Syndicate yet needs to put its house in order, but 'twould seem the worst of the confusion has passed. Uldar has taken control of its future, and I must do the same.
Like the last time. We need another Midgar Stormer. I'm gonna throw the little
decided
guy.
to disband the Crystal Braves.
Alvino, hold on. I'll get to that in a second. I just tossed the little Midgar Stormer on my shoulder, right at that big airship, and the problem solves itself. Second of all, yeah, obviously.
Among the recruits, there were those who supported our Order's goals and convictions with all sincerity. 'Tis my hope that these loyal men and women will choose to remain our allies in the battles to come. As for those who sided with the traitor, Ilberd, they shall be hunted down and held to account for their crimes. It is my earnest hope that they will surrender themselves peaceably when the time comes, though I think it unlikely.
Hunting people for sport.
Ah, my all-conquering Crystal Braves. The model army meant to pave the way for a single unified Grand Company of Eorzea. That so high an ideal should be brought so low. I need not tell you how deeply the betrayal stung me. Yet I see now that it was mine own naivety and pride which allowed the Braves to fall prey to corruption. As ever, it is to your own shining example that I turn for inspiration. Like you, I mean to stand firm in the face of hardship and give mine all for the cause. Let us resume the search for our missing comrades, that we might come together to shine the light of dawn across the realm once more. The role of Crystal Brave Commander suited me ill, and I shall play it no longer. Henceforth, I shall be no more or less than Alfino, proud member of the Scions.
I blush to speak thus of mine own inner turmoil, but the fact remains there is no woman alive in whom I'd rather confide. Were it not for your shining example, I might never have emerged beneath the pall of my despair. Give me that. Elfino would know how things stand at the Rising Stones. We're gonna finish this off before we head to Ishgard and call it there. Still no word from Master Garland. I hope that this mana hunter of theirs is nearing completion. You okay on those stairs, Yuri? I am assured that her grace will make a full recovery. I and Ulda too shall flourish once more. General Roban and his colleagues have matters well in hand, I believe. Lady Gary, a question if I may. I believe your people have been keeping a close watch on the Crystal Braves. Might you know how things stand at the Rising Stones? Yes, of course. You will be pleased to know that the 3rd Unit Braves abandoned Reverence Toll when they learned of Captain Ilberd's defeat. The only blue uniforms to be seen now are those worn by soldiers loyal to you, Master Elfino. To me, I see. I am grateful to hear that at least some of our members were true to their oaths. If we return to Ishgard, I must go to the Rising Stone and thank these stalwarts for their service. It shall be my final act as Crystal Brave Commander. Will you join me, Akali? You were there at the company's inception. 'Tis only fitting you be present at its end. And I would appreciate the support. That's a spoiler, but I want this mount more than fucking anything. Look at his abs. Fantastic. That mount was a man, so this isn't the Rising Stones. Fuck. Where am I going? Whoops. We have too many bases at this point. Got the Rising Stones, the Waking Stands, the Falling Snows. It's too many. Commander, you're alive! And a collie too! I knew you'd scrape through. My splendid crystal braves, I have wronged you, all of you. My promises of glory and salvation have brought you naught but blood and betrayal. Bah, you'll not hear us complaining. It was a slight messier than expected, aye, but we was still fighting for freedom of all, just like we swore. Ain't that right, mates? Aye. You humble me. I am truly blessed to have such steadfast comrades. It is with the most profound regret, then, that I must... That's enough of that, Commander. We know what you've a mind to say, and we ain't having none of it. We've talked it over, and we all agreed. You can take our uniforms and strip us of our ranks, but we won't be no less of a company. But the Crystal Braves... The Crystal Braves may be finished, but the ideals upon which the company was founded live on. They bind us to each other, and to you. Commander, Elfino, our minds are made up, so you may as well get used to it. Let us help the Scions. Let us help you and Menphilia and the others. Ooh, about the others. About Menphilia. It's just us, boys. My friends, after all that has happened, I know not what to say. Don't cry. Don't cry. There's no crying in Final Fantasy. Let me talk to all these nerds. Akali Yana, I joined the Crystal Braves in hopes of following in your footsteps, and I do not regret the decision, not even for a moment. At least you get to wear, like, normal-looking clothes. If we scrutinize the Scion's records, it should provide us with likely locations of which the missing Archons might have fled. Put your mind at ease. It is for work just such as this that we have been trained. I feel blessed to have witnessed such a display of camaraderie. We must repair the damage if our minds are to focus. Now where to begin? First things first, we must need to put the Rising Stones in order. We cannot have the Archons return to find their headquarters in such shambles. Again. I sent Shinobi to spy upon the brass blades, and it would seem that Ida and Papalimos' resistance accounted for a sizable number of the company's soldiers. All we know for certain, however, is that our friends' corpses were not found amongst the bodies they left behind. So Ida and Papalimo were not found amongst the dead. So that's fine. We'll find the missing Scions, I promise you. Between us and the immortal flames, no stone in Eorzea will be left unturned. I don't know if you know, but during the goddamn feast, Philamen got ambushed by some 3rd unit curs over in Limsa. I'm told she danced free of their nooses, though, and ain't heard nothing since, but my guess is she's lying low somewhere in the port. Pray excuse me, I thought my tears spent. My grandfather used to say that one could measure a man by the consistency of his comrades. Mayhap I am the exception, which proves the rule. Nay, do not protest. I know that I am not worthy of their loyalty, Akali. But as Thalik is my witness, I shall do everything in my power to earn it. Elfino has matters to attend to at the Rising Stones. I must speak of future plans with the remaining Braves. Any information we uncovered on the missing science will need to be shared with our allies across the realm. Specifically, Uryanje in the Waking Sands and Tataru in Ishgard. While we are organizing our various channels of communication, I would ask that you call upon Master Garland at the manufactory. I will join you in Ishgard as soon as I am able. And I think that is where we will leave it, and we will do more of that next week. But lots happened, but Ulda is back on track. We're gonna go kill a dragon. Ysael will be sad. Estinian will just keep being Estinian, I guess. But thank you so very, very much for being here. I will be back with more Final Fantasy next week at 5 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. I am off tomorrow. But I will be back on Tuesday at 2 p.m. EST with more Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. I think we're finishing that game. God only knows. I have no idea what's happening in that game. And more Nier Replicant at 6 p.m. EST. I've been logging on every day for Nier to water my vegetables. We have so much wheat right now. You're gonna be shocked. I could make every one of you a piece of bread. But thank you for being here and watching and supporting. I appreciate that so very, very much. I hope you all have a very lovely evening, and I will see you on Tuesday. Goodbye!